was a long one. I figured it was going to be really short because you always know when you're on one,
Just
when
like you.
when you talk during the intro song. That's when I know it's going to be a very chaotic episode. What's up, everybody? I'm Alex. He's Paul. We've got Mr. Geek here, Bass Geek himself. And it's your weekly distraction from high quality podcasts. I'm returned from North Carolina.
You made it home safely.
I made it home safely. I want to start off by saying thank you to all the Patreon members for helping make that possible. If you guys want to help.
I have not seen a single dime from all the money I spent.
Well, if you guys want to help support the show, you can head over to patreon.com/bassandbrews. That's patreon.com/bassandbrews. Costs like $5 a month. You get to become a producer of the show and have access to Last Call with Alex and Paul, the Patreon exclusive live show we do once a month with everybody. We chat with you folk. It's not really like this show. We keep trying to make sure people know that. Like, we're never going to like paywall content. Like, Bass and Brews will be just as degenerate as we always are, but the Last Call show is just it's just Paul and I talking about like life and then we take and then we kind of answer whatever comments and bullshittery you folks put into the chat.
I thought that would be like where the coke and hookers come in personally.
It is. Well, listen, we paywall the coke and hookers, all right?
Well, first of all, don't add me into none of that. I'm too good for cocaine. And I am, and I do not want to pay child support for a hooker.
Listen, after meeting Paul in person, he does not need cocaine. This man does not stop all day. He's like that old man who like is retired for 20 years, but he still wants to stay busy. He's just constantly busy, moving around, but not really doing anything productive, just kind of moving shit from one spot to the other.
Hey, Alex, I will say this. In your walk up from your car into the garage before the hug,
yes,
what was going through your mind?
I was trying to squeeze my ass cheeks together because I knew you were going to try to squeeze a fart out of me. So I was holding it together, and that was like an 8-hour drive of nothing but gas station food. So I was worried about that.
So all right, you were worried about that. How about anything else? Like, were you excited? How did you feel walking between our cars?
I was excited, man. I get to meet one of my best buddies for the first time ever.
Bitch, I'm your only friend.
Dude, we talked about your only friend. Listen, it was a good time. And everybody stay tuned. We've got a pretty epic video where I kind of,
shit. I still haven't seen you my footage.
You do have to send me your footage, but I'm putting it all together. I got the creative juices flowing again, and we're trying a different editing style for this video, so it should be entertaining. I got a mouse in my pocket. Yeah, I got a mouse in my pocket.
Well, look, I will tell you this to add on top of that before we get into our guest tonight.
Mr. Geek.
We're going to dive into Mr. Geek like he's never been dove into before. And we had to cut him off, and I had to cut myself off quite a few times in the green room.
Imagine that.
The conversation was going way too good to keep going. But, look, this was when Alex showed up. I told him to give me like a 30-minute heads up to make sure I was home and shit. But I really wanted to be able to have the camera set up so when he walked in, I could give him a hug. And the best I can explain to y'all, and I have to get you this footage because this is probably the most important video footage I took, was the initial meeting. I picked him up, and I had to squat down like I was talking to my 10-year-old. And then I grabbed him with my arms, and I squeezed, and I twirled him around.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, I didn't lift him in the air, but it was as good as a Dirty Dancing spin.
I was about to say, I hope it caught my one leg up, where I just put like one leg up. Like I felt like a princess. It was amazing.
He smelled he smelled like Marlboro Lights and funness.
Also, shout out to Hands On Adventures. Dustin showed up. He was the groupie. He got made fun of lightly by me and Paul, relentlessly by Can't Look Carter. Can't Look Carter wouldn't stop making fun of his Android phone, and it became like the funniest thing ever. But shout out to him for joining our kind of our meetup. It was awesome.
Real quick, because we weren't recording when this happened, and So another side note is I'm doing all the cooking. I had a shitload to set up because Alex didn't bring anything, so I had to set up my shit, my son's shit.
You didn't set up my
Alex's
shit?
was set up. But anyway, I was bossing Dustin Alex around while I was trying to get stuff ready because we need to eat supper that night. We couldn't get into the campsite till 3. We didn't get there till a little after 3, so we were trying to get shit set up so we could relax, drink a few brews, and cook and eat and have a good time, get the fire started. And then I had to actually come back to the fucking house. So anyway, that's
Don't ruin that. Don't ruin that.
But one thing that was not video because Dustin and Alex would set the fucking cameras up. They're like, I'm not going to throw on 2 years of B-roll. I was like, this isn't B-roll. There might be some B-roll in there, but this is just us conversating, have a good time. Anyway, they missed one of the funniest parts of the whole weekend. Carter looks at Alex and goes, I don't even know why you're here.
Oh my God, it was the fucking best. He thought, yeah, we'll cover it. I actually have a whole little segment on that. He dead looked at me in the eyes and was just like, I don't even know why you're here. I was like, I'm about ready to punt this man's son across the pond.
And he kept telling Alex he called Alex the old man the whole weekend.
I was the youngest one there, other than Carter.
He had the most gray hair, so Alex kept telling him he was the old man. It was a great look. To wrap it up, it was an absolute great, awesome time, and hopefully in the video, Alex makes Alex and I's interaction during the weekend was just like it was on the it really was on the podcast.
Yeah,
it was that, but a whole weekend of in-person stuff. It was great. It was awesome, and I'm so glad it happened. And I'm hoping next year. Obviously, I got a lot going on with the kids and my business, but I'm hoping next year maybe I can make a trip up to Jersey and we can go camp in the Jersey Pine Barrens.
Hell yeah.
And we can have another Bass and Brews meet up in Jersey. I won't know. We'll see how it goes, but I'm hoping we can make something happen again.
But guess what? Everybody in the Discord, and if you want to be part of the Bass and Brews Discord, hit us up at Bass and Brews. It is free.
No charge for that.
No charge. You can hit us up on the socials or at bassandbrews@gmail.com. But Frag Out Fishing was pretty sure that we were going to be ending the show after we first met, but we didn't. And do you want to know why?
What time is it? It's the season of persistence.
Yeah, that's right. 4 years. We're still running. Paul and I finally met. The magic's still there. And we're here with Mr. Geek. Do you mind if I call you Mr. Bass Geek instead? Is that all right, sir?
I've been married for 32 years. I've been called a lot of things, so I really have got thick skin at this point.
How in the hell have you been? You got kids?
Yeah, I've got grandkids.
How the hell do you have kids, grandkids, been married 32 years? You got less gray in your beard than Alex and I.
Well, I married a good one, so she keeps me alive.
You saying out?
Yep.
You're saying
Yep.
Sarah
Less than
and
10
Amanda
minutes.
are bad wives?
Less than 10 minutes in, Mr. Geek called her wife shitty. Solid.
Yeah,
solid.
Terrible. Fuck them. Fuck
Solid.
them wives.
Yep. Fuck them. Hey, so we've got Bass Geek. You guys know him from YouTube. Me and Paul and I were kind of talking about how we were.
Wait. Luckily, we
the
still
interruption.
know him. Luckily, we still know him from YouTube, and he didn't have to start over.
What do you mean?
Got hacked. His shit got hacked, and he couldn't get into it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we still know him. Thanks for the interruption. That didn't really provide anything, Paul. But anyways,
that is important information.
I'm stoked to have him on. Between Rudd and Mr. Geek here, you guys were the ones that kind of taught me how to bass fish when I first got into bass fishing. You guys were some of the first videos that I saw to kind of learn how to do this thing, going from somebody who trout fished when they were a teenager in Washington State to learn how to catch these green fish that we never eat. I relied heavily on your videos to kind of figure out the lures, watch what you're doing, imitating. So I'm stoked to have you on. This is awesome.
I always tell everybody, though, I fish Highlands reservoirs, so whatever I'm fishing, lighten up by about half of it because, I'm fishing. I was fishing last week, and I was still fishing 45 feet deep for small.
Where you at? Tell the listeners where you are.
So I live in Virginia, but I'm right on the border. The closest real town If you've ever heard of Bristol, Virginia / Tennessee, the
Oh
Bristol
yes,
Motor
it's
Speedway.
the racetrack that disappointed a couple weeks
Yes.
ago.
Oh yeah, he was horrible. They screwed. Don't even get me started on that. They screwed that up when they repaved it. You know, it's awful now.
The driver says the tires, but you said you're on the border, but you didn't tell us what border you're on.
He did.
The Tennessee-Virginia border.
He did not fucking say Tennessee.
Shut up,
Virginia.
Paul.
Well, I
He
said
he's in
Tennessee, Virginia.
Yeah, exactly.
Bristol,
He
No,
said
he's
Bristol,
he said
Tennessee.
2 against 1. Shut up, Paul.
You know what, Alex?
I'm gonna mute your ass. Anyways, hey, I think it's funny that you said that because when I first started watching your videos, you definitely were using heavier weights, but I didn't know. I was like, all right, maybe that's normal. So I went out into my 3 to 4 foot pond locally and threw a 1 ounce jig, and I'm like, why does this thing not cast properly? And why does it feels like it's going too fast in the water? And I was like, all right, well, he said drop shot. I'll try that. And I'm like, man, it gets caught up all the time. It doesn't make sense. So
I'm throwing a 1/2 ounce weight on a drop shot.
Exactly.
3 foot deep.
Yep,
Look,
I
when
tried that
wind's
and it did
blowing,
not work.
That 1/2 ounce lets you cast it in
Yeah, it does.
maintain contact now.
Yeah, it's a little different. That's why listen. I love my scope, man. I love it. It's the bass here are different creatures, and when they're out over 120, 200 foot of water, just in open water chasing shad, summertime ain't fun.
Yeah.
I was about to say, that's the same thing, too. I used all that sweet Patreon money at patreon.com/bassandbrews, and I bought a live scope, and I was bank fishing with it, and it fucking doesn't work. Like, I think it's bullshit. Like, I threw that whole transponder in 2 feet of water, and I can't fucking see any fish. It's bullshit.
Well, hey, people like to say if you ain't scoping, you're hoping.
Yeah.
Well, I like to tell people nowadays, if you ain't scoping, you're a poor ass peasant.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Listen, so I brought a buddy of mine up from South Carolina, and we normally
Hold on, where in South Carolina?
he's from around Greenwood.
Okay, so I'm originally from South Carolina, but I'm in the middle of the state, so he's about 3.5 hours away.
Yeah. So he comes up. I took him to South Holston, got him on some smallmouth one time, but I brought him up in the middle of summer because we were catching these bass out over like 50 to about 120 in open water on top water, middle of the day, like 2 years ago. Well, we had a drought here. So we'd see these schools of about 150 largemouth. And we threw at them, and you know how many we caught? One.
Oh.
One. So sometimes, even when you're scoping, you're still hoping.
But you ain't a peasant ass bitch that is too afraid to spend the money to be scoping.
Well, I'm still a weekend warrior.
Yeah, but he's a weekend warrior with 89,000 subscribers on YouTube. He can drop a little scratch on some live scope.
So the thing of it is I've always, my electronics are important to me. I've always told people, look, go out and spend as much as you can afford on electronics because they will help you. Pros, they don't need electronics. They're on the lake 200 and 300 days a year. Us, every single weekend's like going to a new lake, even at our own home.
Good point.
So
I'll make a point on that though. I've got some buddies that they got forward facing, and then they've got 12-inch Lowrance or whatever units on the steering wheel. They got another one up front, and they have no idea how to use side imaging. And it's just they have $6,000 in mapping equipment is all it is, and they've got buy what you can afford, but learn how to use the basic shit. And side imaging is one of the most important pieces of technology you can
100%.
use because you can find so much with it. But these guys, matter of fact, my buddy Joe, who I do our team tournaments with, we got a tournament this weekend. He had all this shit on his boat, and him and I met on the waters in my kayak, blah, 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 this and that. And I was picking out fish. He didn't forward facing at the time. I was picking out fish on the side scan, and we were fishing them. And he's like, oh man, how do you see that? And so we ended up going and fishing one day on his boat. And he's like, teach me how to look at the side scan. And he has Lowrance. I have Humminbird. I was like, he turned it on and you couldn't see shit. I was like, Bo, we gotta try to set this up. I don't know how to run your shit, but we set it up. And that day we found schooled up fish, and I was able to show him what they look like. I was able to, this is a rock pile, this is a brush pile, this and that. And he got to be able to use it. But yes, buy the best technology you can buy, but you have got to fucking learn how to use it.
You got to put the time in. It's like with anything, it's like I hear people all the time, they want to learn how to throw big swim baits. I always argue. I'm a big believer. I hate the term confidence bait, and I despise how people tell people to go build confidence. It's like on my lake, right? Somebody looks at you and says, well, I want to learn how to catch fish on a chatterbait. Well, if you go out in the middle of the summer and it's 15-foot visibility and you can see the rocks on the bottom, and you throw that chatterbait all day long, guess what you ain't going to do?
Right.
You ain't going to get a bite. I mean, if you're fishing it traditionally,
right.
Maybe if you let that 1/2 ounce or 3/8 drop, 20 foot down, you might.
Right.
But,
yeah, but that's kind of tough. And even back to the electronics, right? Like you mentioned, you're a weekend warrior. Warriors, for the most part, we want to get bit. We want to so it can be tough to tell yourself all right, I can only fish Saturdays, right? I can only fish a Saturday. That's all I got. And you have to fully expect to not catch shit.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And
right?
I know guys, I hate I don't hate the guys, but I hate the ones that want to argue with you and they go, well, I just like fishing. What? I mean, I like fishing, but you know what I love? Catching.
Sure.
I love catching. I like fishing. I mean, if I just want to be out on the lake, I'd save a hell of a lot of money if I just go hiking.
Right? Yeah. Well,
I mean, if you're out there for the scenery, just go fucking hiking, man.
Right. Or you could actually just sell the bass boat and all the gear, get a pontoon boat with a sweet speaker, and you can just jam fucking Brooks and Dunn and crush bush lattes, and that sounds like a good time.
And drag some cut bait and catch some fucking badass catfish.
When you go hiking, get you a fanny pack, 3 lures, and a spinning rod, and go out there and hit the water a couple times. I like to catch. I
ain't fishing from the bank. Fishing from the bank sounds.
We're not talking about that.
Sound like fun.
But that was
just
really
said
funny.
grab a fanny pack and some rod reels.
I was saying those guys that go, they'll give me a hard time because I say, look, I go out there to catch fish.
Mm-hmm.
My goal every time I go out on the water is catch every single fish in that lake.
Right.
Now, I ain't got anywhere close to that.
I remember a video y'all catching a bunch of damn freshwater drum, and you were not very happy about it. I think it was a tournament. It's been a few years ago.
Yes, it was a tournament in practice. Listen, that was on Watts Bar.
Big ass fucking drum too.
Listen, Watts Bar. If they ever have a drum tournament, I will be the drum champion.
Y'all should have saved some of those, brought them home, and cooked them, deep fried them.
I don't know about them drum. Now, Asian carp. I've actually.
Oh, what are they calling that now? What are they calling it on menus? Is it like silverfish or some shit like that now?
Yeah.
They're good eating, huh?
They are actually pretty good.
Fried or baked? How they cook?
They had them fried, not even breaded. It was just
fried,
kind of
pan fried.
Yeah.
Pan fried.
Oh shit! And it actually tasted all right because I've heard. I mean, most of the carp is supposed to taste like trash, right?
Yeah, yeah. But apparently, the Asian carp, they're just different. I guess
there are dumbasses out here that say bass tastes like mud, and them bitches couldn't tell the difference in a catfish fillet, a bass fillet, and a crappie fillet. So,
now listen, I will tell you, most of the time, a largemouth bass will taste a lot. You really got to make sure you soak it, because if you don't, it tastes like the lake that it come from. So, now smallmouth are pretty good, but spotted bass, they eat like crappy.
Okay. Aren't those invasive in most spots too, right?
Well,
we should be
in America, but one little small place in Alabama.
Fuck that. Fuck Alabama.
Alabama's fucking ruined bass fishing for the whole goddamn country.
Way to go, Alabama.
Yeah, fuck you, Alabama. Shit.
Fuck all 4 people that listen to us in Alabama. This is you know what? We've shifted gears. We're going to be primarily a Montana-focused podcast.
Easy now. Justin Copley's listening to this, and he said he has numerous friends, and they're in Alabama who listen to this. So we can't. We got more than 4 that we got to tell fuck you to.
Oh, I swallowed my Zin.
More than 4.
Well, listen, you boys come up to Jersey. You know what we'll do? We'll have a dance fight, and I'll fuck you up in the streets.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Pop and lock. Come get it.
The only way Alex could fuck you up in the streets if he made you get on your back to fight him.
Fuck that, dude. Dude, don't you remember Wizard of Oz? Those motherfuckers were holding down the yellow brick road. I got it, man. I got it.
Hey, before we get too much more into this, even though we're 21 minutes in, Mr. Geek, this is a question that we ask our new guests to the show, and we don't give this is how we introduce our guests, because we do not go do research on you. We do not compile a history to introduce you to. We do not ask you to introduce yourself. What we ask you is, what is the journey that has brought you here to where you are today as an angler?
Oh, it's really, gosh, man, that is a deep, tough question.
Exactly. That's what my wife said. This is deep. She's never said that.
She's never said, man, that's deep. She's never said that, Paul. I grew up fishing. It was just sort of a thing. I grew up fishing a lot on the Virginia side, out of, for years and years, little municipal lakes out of a John boat. Me, and my brother and my best friend.
My brother and I, but go ahead. My brother and me, sorry, but go ahead.
And then, from there, man, I mean, it's real weird because like in high school, I was actually going into sports media. From high school, I was going to go into college. I actually did a lot of radio and local play-by-play on a lot of different sports. Yeah. And from there, well, me and the wife got pregnant, but it's real weird because it all kind of come full circle.
So she had her baby and you still kept all the weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, me too.
But it's weird because it just kind of all come together because it was like, okay, I want to help people like me, because I never really had anybody to fish with. Like everything that I've learned, I went out, took a lure, and beat water until I figured out how it works. And that's probably the one good thing. That's why most of my channel is me talking about how I fish this particular bait. And a lot of people are like, oh, man, you're just trying to sell stuff. No, I'm just trying to say I love to fish different baits, because every single bait, it's like I tell people, I'm like, look, there's a difference in a Cinco and a Yum Dinger and a Bass Pro Shops and 20 other brands. They're all weighted, have different actions, do different things in different ways. And that can be highlighted with when, where, and how you use each worm. So a lot of people go at it going, oh, man, Cinco's the best. Cinco is a great worm. God knows. I remember when it come out and I was catching 30 fish a day in the spring going, this is the greatest thing on earth. Mm-hmm. But there's a time when other stick baits, if used in the right place, the right way, will outperform that bait. And that's sort of what I really like. And that's what, because I really didn't have anybody to teach me things. I didn't have the money to, to tournament fish early on. And, so I really started learning about how each bait works, how what they do on my own out on the water. And that just kind of came together with my history of editing, because I always loved to edit. And then I was like, you know what? If I do a YouTube channel, back in that time when I first started it, all the pros were line through their teeth.
When did you first start it? What year?
So, man, I've been doing this for like 9 years. Like,
Wow.
I think it was like 2000, 15, 16, 17, math that. I don't know.
I found you around like 19 in your channel.
Yeah.
Somewhere you were a big channel, but you were not as big as you are now, obviously. Fucking never mind. That's the stupidest.
Well, I do like
Yeah, it
Reese's
was.
Cups and birthday cake, so that kind of expanded.
Well, there we go.
Well, I will say,
hold on.
nope, you hold on.
Bitch.
I'll speak on behalf of a lot of our audience and say thank you for trying out all those lures and saving us money, because we could just watch you do it and go, yeah, fuck that. I'm not going to use that one.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll go to
that's,
a different
you know,
one, right? Like sometimes that's how it be. It's like you said, you're from a different area, right? I would see you fish some stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. Everybody says to fish that, and I'm like, bitch, my fucking lake is 6 feet at the deepest. There's no way this is going to be effective, right? And it would legitimately save me money and time, right? You did the work. You walked so Paul could run, basically.
So
and I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me.
Yeah. I could not run this past weekend. I had the gimp limp. I had hurt my ankle, and I was and I had to play golf on Monday, so I was super worried about it. I was so worried about it that I was icing my foot at the campsite in the foot tub.
So fucking gross. Dude, he put his big giant fucking harpy fucking talon in this bucket full of ice and salt, and then we're sitting there, I'm talking to Dustin, we're
By the
chit-chatting.
campfire, it's dark.
Carter is like staying up to hear like dude talk, you know what I mean? And dude, total side note, I'm gonna pull Paul. My favorite part of the weekend actually is when I kept flipping off Carter. It was my favorite. Dude, his son, I just kept going like this, like trying to be the fun uncle. I just kept going like
Yeah.
He was doing all the flip. Look, Carter got in a little bit of trouble Monday, and so my wife calls me in the middle of the day.
uh-oh.
And it's never a good thing. Usually it's from the school.
Mm.
And I was like, she goes in, hey, the principal just called me, and I'm like,
no.
oh my God, please don't tell me it's some bullshit that he learned from Alex or Dustin. This it ended up not being, thank goodness.
Thank
but
goodness.
I'm like, Carter was over there blowing up the middle finger,
Middle
and
finger,
shit, all
dude.
this. I was
But
or he says some shit that I told him so many times, look, you might hear some stuff. Do not repeat any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Luckily, it had nothing to do. He followed the rules for guys' weekend.
Yes.
But I was super worried when I got that phone call. She
I
said,
would be
hey,
too.
The principal called me. I was like, oh my God.
But
The worst part is like
never
he's
gonna let
teaching
this
his
happen.
friends.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like they're all like
Yeah, they're all going down the hallway. Yeah.
But
Hey, the
but
question-
we're
oh,
all
go ahead.
sitting around there, and then all of a sudden it's like dark. I'm in the middle of a kind of semi-deep conversation. We've got a young
With Dustin. Dustin.
boy learning how to be a man. We're all sitting there, and then this fucking troglodyte puts his big fucking claw. It's like this cold, wet, fucking callous foot onto my leg, and I just about vomited into my hoodie, dude. It was so gross.
I did not know this, but Alex does not
Fucking
like
hate him.
feet.
Hate
Oh
him.
no,
He does
dude!
not
I'm not
like
a foot
feet.
guy. No,
Hate him.
Look,
don't
Hate
touch
him.
me with feet. Keep your feet away from
I'll
me.
even
Hey,
tell the missus.
I
Keep
barely
socks
like
on.
my feet. And
Exactly.
I fish barefoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Alex had just been like, man, don't do that again, I probably would have not done it
Nope.
again. But he was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was like 9.
And that gave
That
me
would be
the
my
opening.
reaction.
That gave me the opening I need to rub my wet, cold, crusty ass foot all over his leg for at least the next 2 hours.
It was so
hey,
gross.
one thing going back, Mr. Geek, to your content. One of the things I loved about your content is what you said earlier in this diatribe of yours is that you told people how you were catching fish and what lures you were using and how you used them. So it wasn't like you just ran and grabbed some shit off the shelf and like, I'm going to teach you how to fish this today. You really got into, this is what I use, this is why I use it, and this is how I use it. And it didn't feel like you were trying to sell me something. So you go back to you're just trying to sell us something. With your channel, one of the things that I like about it is that I don't feel like you're trying to sell me anything. I feel like you're teaching me how you fish with this specific lure.
Yeah.
And so what that does for me is that lends some credence to watching you because it's not something you're trying to sell. It's not
Right.
something you're sponsored by. like any of that. It's literally just, hey, this is how I use this lure. This is when I use it. And to me, when you're doing a channel where you're trying to teach people stuff, it lends a lot of credence when when folks can realize that I'm just teaching you when and how I use this.
Yeah. And that's the big key. Our how-tos, of course they've progressed. You get better in front of a camera. Yeah, sure. We got a few mid-roll sponsors now.
Sure.
But I mean, I always say to people, forgive me for having a sponsor. I want to fish for a living.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I had this dream until I did this. And all of a sudden it went crazy. And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I might be able to do this full time.
Yeah. And you fucking should. You're right. Fuck. I mean,
and
Paul.
And I mean, anybody, ask anybody, you're going to love to do it. But what I love about how we've really progressed our how-tos into is we jump right into it.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the bait per season. And that's one thing I was noticing the other day. A lot of people don't realize that we're talking about this bait right now because this is how I would use it this time of year. And they may not be seeing that video
right
at that time of year. So I need to actually say that a little bit in the video.
Agreed.
And so but man, I like to give you everything. Like, look, here's the bait. Here's how I tie it on. This is how I use it. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on like the areas, because the areas that I use on my lake, which are all, 45-degree banks or steeper, probably not going to be the same areas you're going to use it on your lake, your river, your pond. But I try to give you, look, this is a knot I tie. This is how I use it. This is the rod, reel, line. This is I try to give you everything, including underwater footage of it. So that you can literally look at that bait and, like you said, be like, okay, yeah, that'll work for me. I know a situation that's going to work in, or that's not going to work for what I like to do.
I mean, it carries through your stages of getting into fishing. It's like when you first get into it, right? There's some basic baits, right? But a lot of times you get bit by that tackle monkey, right?
Yes.
And you are a drug dealer. You're a pusher for that.
Oh,
I see you catch fish for that. I'm like, I'm going to get all that shit, right? And then you get to like where you're out of that phase and you're like, all right, Mr. Geek is got different water than me. I don't need to watch him use a deep diving crankbait because guess what? My lake's only 6 feet. I don't need a deep diver, right? But it's all good. Like they all fit. And you're absolutely right. You are definitely, as you progress through,
Alex,
you've gotten more
reporting yet.
Shut up. You've gotten more general with it, which is the right way to do it, right? You've gotten more general. But if you look back, so today I looked back at your first like 4 videos, right? And you could definitely tell where you were like, I'm just going to
please.
Shut up. Where you were just kind of like, I'm going to go out and fish. And it was cool to see kind of, so usually when we have like a bigger name on, I'll look at the first 5 and then I'll like speed up a couple of years and I'll look at another 5, right? So So if analytics, you see all of a sudden some videos got some random views from New Jersey, it's me. But I like seeing the progression of the creators that we have on, because you could absolutely see where you were kind of like just playing kind of, you're brand new at talking to the camera. You're brand new at doing the editing. And then a year later,
niche. You can tell when they find that niche.
Yeah. And you've hit it, but I've also seen as I go through that it's like a constant progression, which is awesome to see out of a creator who's been doing it as long as you have. It's good to see a progression. It's good to see you kind of change your style as you get older in age, but also on the platform, right? You're changing, but you're not abandoning what that video was 9 years ago, right? It's still the same thing. It may
pick up and get a little more to the point.
Sure.
I'm not just sitting there talking about, hey guys, I've been doing this. Sorry about that.
Like those early videos, not just from you, but most big creators, those early videos basically sound like podcasts. Like it's a whole lot of talking.
I can't tell you how many times I'd get a comment and be like, the video only starts like 5 points, You know.
Just get to the point, motherfucker. Shit, why are we talking so much? You're just
Yeah.
fishing.
Listen,
Just tell
man.
us
How do I
what you're
use that
doing.
damn bait, man?
Yeah.
Just shut the
What are
hell
you
up.
using? How do I use it? Like, come on, man.
We get that on the podcast, though. And it's like there's useful information at minute, 1 hour, 45 minutes into a 1 hour, 50-minute podcast. Something useful showed up.
Now, and we still do fishing videos. Like, we still do them.
Mhm.
And we're trying to, like, that's one of the things, because I'll be honest with you, like fishing videos, they don't get views. Like, I'll get people that come out and they'll be like, well, I'd like to see, even though there's a fish catch in the video, like, I don't, in a how-to, I'm not going to show me, fighting the fish and getting
Sure.
in. It's going to be cast, hook set, boat flip. Here we go. Here's a bass.
Money shot with the bait in its mouth. Yep.
And, but we still do fishing videos, and we're really working right now, kind of looking at those and trying to figure out, okay, how can we make those more entertaining?
Mm-hmm.
How many fish make a good entertaining fishing video? How many, how can we put as much knowledge into that about what we're doing that day?
Yeah.
So that when you watch it, you're kind of seeing what we're doing and why we're fishing, what we're fishing, and where we're fishing. And I want you to be able to pick that up real quick. That's why we do conditions of the day. And that's, I think that is one huge thing that a lot of people will watch those fishing videos and they'll just kind of glance through. That is such a key. And even as the day changes,
right.
That's real.
Okay.
Really
so I've got something to you, Mr. Geek. Do you think that people are watching the fishing videos so you said you want to explain. So there's a little bit of educational, right? But when they're watching you catch fish, do you think it's mostly educational or mostly entertainment?
I think there's 2 or 3 different types of fishing YouTube channels out there. Let's take Lojo, the Googans. They're entertainment.
Yep.
You're not going to learn anything from them. But I appreciate them, because after you're done with them, when you're 13 and you decide you really like fishing, that's when you come to me.
Okay.
So I appreciate all those guys growing a channel for me.
Right.
And because look, man, I'm 51. I'm fat. I ain't doing weird shit. I do enough. I'm like Bill Dance. Trust me, weird shit just happens to me. Unfortunately, I got to bleep it all the time on my channel. But
hey, I quit. You're 51. You're married. You got babies and grandbabies. Alex is married. I'm married. We got kids. We both got wives, obviously, since I said we're married. But I have a quick question for you, and this a little bit off topic, but is important as an angler. In your household, Mr. Geek, who buys the toilet paper?
Oh, the wife does.
Okay, does she buy like the good 8-ply Charmin teddy bear good shit, or is she buying the 2-ply Costco budget toilet paper?
So I'm about to give you too much information.
Love it.
Give it.
This is
there's never too much.
The
on Bass
bare
and
minimum
Brews.
on Bass and Brews.
All of it.
This is going to be called the Mr. Geek toilet paper segment, where we ask about the toilet paper on a guest.
Yeah. So as my wife would tell you, and any one of my friends who I've mooned, I've got a hairy ass.
Okay. Oh shit.
Lots
so you
of
can't.
dingleberries.
He can't have the super ply.
Soft stuff. I've got a calloused over asshole. All right.
Yeah.
I like the. I like the rough
What
stuff.
the fuck have you been doing to your butthole to be it be calloused?
Just give me the rough stuff so I can get in there and scrape it off. And
What about?
So
Hold
do
on.
you ever wipe and like fill a dingleberry and you're like, I gotta pull
gotta
this
pick it
out.
out,
So
yeah.
you grab it and then you gotta take a deep breath, and when you pull it out, your nose and eyes start watering. That's gotta
when I
happen
was
to you.
younger and I discovered I couldn't really use like the Charmin Extra Soft.
Yeah.
Hey, wet wipes, dude wipes, wet wipes.
Dude, listen.
That is, look, you can clean those hairs will be like you just put some damn your wife's hair conditioner through it all straight and clean.
I got a whole process. It's like a couple of dry, few wet,
Yes.
dry to clean up. And
Yeah, but where
see,
are you putting the wet? Where are you putting the wet?
Well, we got a nice little, trash can.
You got to have like a lockdown one. You have too much.
Oh, yeah,
Taco Bell.
it is.
Yeah, that thing's got to be like.
It gets taken out pretty much every other day. So.
Do you know what Plano needs to come out instead of the egg? Like for the egg series, they need to come out with a dude wipe container where it has that same seal.
Flushable. They do make flushable. There's not dude wipes.
They're not
flushable.
Flushable wipes are not.
Yeah.
They do not break down. And the people at the poop factories where your duty water goes, they hate those things. Are not flushable. Hey, you know what they should have is Plano should come out with a diaper genie.
Yeah,
a wet wipe genie.
Yes,
is how it should be.
Yes.
I love it.
Doesn't smell. Got a top to it. You got a bag out. You get back to the boat ramp. You shove that shit in the used fishing line, 8-inch PVC pipe, and let it roll.
Paul, we're part of that Pure Angler survey series. We need to add that in there.
Yeah.
Well, there's nowhere for us to add it, but I think I know somebody that I might be able to suggest. Hey, Plano diaper genie.
I will add, I was just at Paul's house. I can confirm Paul has the foo-fooest toilet paper in comparison to my house. He has...
It's the Costco brand toilet paper. It's not foo-foo.
No,
we Costco.
Run... Amanda grew up in a household that was a septic tank, right? So they have to use Scott. And I lived on boats for 8 years.
That's what I used.
Right. I lived on coast.
We got a septic tank. Like I said, I'm hillbilly now.
You have to use Scott. It's the best. Yeah. Paul is right, though. You do have to kind of use a lot because if it's a Taco Bell shit, you're going to end up giving yourself a little...
Yeah.
When that finger cuts through that paper.
And then that fingernail, you're like, how do I get the shit out of this fingernail when I wash my hands?
You just bite it. You just bite it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's what I did at your house.
It's like when I get somewhere where somebody's house has got a lot, like got the really nice stuff, it's like I'll roll out that normal and I'm like, oh shit, that's just like half that roll.
That's right. You go to somebody's house with good toilet paper and you're used to taking like 3 hand rolls and you take 3 hand rolls, you're like, holy shit. And you're like, well, I don't want to unwrap it. So you wipe and you flush it down and the toilet's like,
yeah, dude.
You're like, please don't stop up. Please don't stop up.
Yes. I wish you would have brought that toilet paper to the campsite because remember that, Paul, remember that piece of shit pillow I was really excited about? That was the smallest camping pillow I've ever seen. I could have used a bunch of Charmin to help pump that pillow up.
I swear to God, Alex came down here with clothes, a sleeping bag he bought from Walmart, and a camping pillow he bought from Walmart.
The camping pillow is more than the sleeping bag, too.
Look, and here's the thing. He gives me this camping pillow. And so I've got a lot of camping shit, right? I got blow-up pillows. I got all this stuff. Yeah. So he gives me the camping pillow. I'm like, oh, man, this looks like a really good camping pillow. And it came in it wasn't a compression bag, but it was a bag that you could, it had anyway. He gives it to me. And so after the first night, we all wake up the next morning. I'm like, dude, how'd you sleep? So I had a pine cone in my lower back.
Yep.
But it was fine. We put him on a nice bed of leaves. So it was soft because I could not find my single tent.
Yep. Just roughing it. Just roughing it.
So anyway, I said, how'd the pillow do? He's like, oh man, fuck that pillow. That fucking pillow sucks. I was like, oh man, it looked really good. He's like, that's what I thought. And so he goes and gets the pillow out. I swear to God, the pillow was smaller outside of the bag
than inside.
Than it was in it. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you just got to stuff that shit back in the stuff sack and use that because it'll probably work better. But that's what he gets for buying shit from Walmart.
Bitch, I don't camp.
You do now. You're a camper now. You're
all right. We figured it out though, Paul. We've got to come up with some music. I guess I'll do that. We've got to have the Mr. Bass Geek. What's your toilet paper segment?
Well, this is so leading into the toilet paper talk. Have you ever shit your pants on the water?
I got a really funny story for you.
Tell it. Alex, no interrupting during the poop my pants on the water.
That's story. You. I'll just mute you so we're clear.
So
I will kick you out and change the password and you can't come back.
So I'm not going to say what lake I was on, but because somebody might know this, but so there was.
Hold on, Mr. Bass Geek. I'm sorry.
Hold on. He just
You're
said no
telling this
interrupting. He
Hold
just
on.
interrupted. Like you said one sentence and he interrupted.
I know, but
Get
look,
out of
he
here.
just said I don't want to tell the lake because people might know this as he's about to tell the story to tens of 20s of thousands of Bass and Brews listeners.
You'll understand why I say this.
Okay,
as we get
I'm
into
sorry.
it.
I apologize for interrupting. Continue, sir.
So the spawn button's on. That's a big thing around here. And, I was jacked up. I kind of knew where some big ones were. I was ready to go. I get out there.
This tournament day? Is this tournament day or
No, this is just I'm just out there for
shut up.
fun, and I'm ready. Like it's just they just had a tournament on it and it just missed spawn.
You going to catch some
I just
fish.
love this like big smallmouth, and I was like, yes. So I get out there, I put in, I go right immediately to my first spot, which is in this marina. And super early in the morning, I go down through there, get one bite. I was a little disappointed, but I mean, all of a sudden, it just dropped. And I'm like, where did this come from? And I'm like, I'm almost sweating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
You got to breathe.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, and I mean, it's sudden. It's sudden. Like, I didn't eat anything weird the night before, I try to make sure.
Right.
So, I'm sitting there and I end up breaking off in some rocks. I end up sitting down, tying up, it kind of sucks back up. You're like,
you're
okay.
safe.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I think I'm good. So I finished fishing down that bank. I sit down, I start driving out. Boom, she's back. And I am sweating at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, and this is right around COVID, I think right around like when it first hit, or maybe was just, all the craziness was waning off. So I was like, all right, there's this creek around the corner. I know where I can go. And I was like, well, hell. I was like, I'm pretty sure the bathrooms were open. And I was like, it's just right around the corner. But the whole time I was thinking, that is a walk across that long parking lot. And if I make that walk, I'm shitting somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
We're not making it back. So, and I'm thinking, God, if those bathrooms ain't open, so I pull up, this older gentleman's getting in the lake. I was like, hey, man, was the bathrooms open up there? He's like, yeah, I believe they were. So I tie the boat up. I start walking. I literally seen one of my buddies later. He goes, I seen you, man, going up there. He said, but I recognize that walk. He said, I recognize that walk. So I'm going up there. Now, here's the bad thing. You got a full-on campground on this side, with campers and tents and all this. And on the other side, you got the road. And that is in the middle. Well, there is the bathroom up there. I get up there. It's locked. Boarded up. Got a padlock on it. I sit there and try my best to break it down.
Yeah.
I can't get it.
Hold on.
So there's
hold on. Shout out to the old guy who was like, yeah, go ahead, it's open.
Yeah.
Get it, big boy. Go shit your pants on your way up there.
Yes.
Like, what a dickhead.
Yeah.
And it was bear proof.
Rawr.
So right around the corner is a little like stage outdoor auditorium. And I'm thinking, I'm going right over there by the steps, man. Road going by. I was like, I don't care. Then I look over and there's an enclosed picnic area. And I'm like, please God, have a trash can.
Oh, yeah.
So I go over, open it up. Sure enough, trash can back corner.
Yeah.
I slide that thing up, shove down in. I mean, drop to the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hold on. Was this like a little office trash can? Or
No,
was
it's
this
like
one of
the big
campground,
Tupperware.
Listen, if you guys
galvanized,
don't know,
galvanized trash can.
Mr. Bass
No, it's
Geek,
the plastic, like the big Tupperware.
big rubber.
Oh, shit.
So just so you guys know, if you don't know Mr. Bass Geek, and I don't think I'm hurting his feelings here, but
No.
he's a bigger dude.
I'm
We're
a
talking,
fat
he's
redneck.
full up in that thing right now. That thing is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you know, when you feeling like that, this ain't a solid. You know what I'm saying? This is
You're not
explosive.
taking a healthy
This is
3-turner.
You about to paint something.
So yeah, and the inside of that can went from green to light brown tan. So
Yeah.
now I'm sitting there. And I'm like, I got my shorts and pants around my
You didn't
ankle.
bring toilet paper with you?
I had wipes. But
Okay.
I'm sitting here. I'm like, I cannot do this. I'm going to fall over.
Yeah.
I'm like, but at the same time, I'm like, because I'm a big boy, right? Like, sometimes reaching, you got to reach around, reach around.
You got to do some
You got
stretches
to get some
before you
stretches
sit
and
down, so
pull
you can
back
make
muscle,
sure you can reach that.
because you got to
crack.
reach around and up in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to do some stretches
So-
to make sure you can reach your crack. Hey,
Hold
I
on.
get you, buddy.
Here's what I imagine. It's like Winnie the Pooh, except for it's not the thing. And then I decided we're going to change that to Shitty the Pooh. And that's, hey, Wolf of Walmart, can we get a Shitty the Pooh meme for Mr. Bass Geek, please?
So
You got to do
now-
some
now I'm
calisthenics to
thinking-
work up to be able to wipe.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking, though, I take my ass up out of this and stand out. There's going to be drippage.
Yeah.
So I look over, and there's a picnic table, and I'm like, hike a leg, Captain Morgan, right?
Oh my God.
So I kick off my pants. So I am completely nude in this from the waist down. Go over, hike up, got the wipes, cleaning up, and then I hear a lady's voice.
Oh.
And 2 kids.
Oh, perfect.
Mama,
And I
there's a
ducked down.
Sasquatch shitting
I
in the.
duck down, and I see them walking down the side like, I'm like, please God, don't come in here. Please God, don't come in here. Please God, don't.
I hope it's their birthday party.
I'm going to go to jail for indecent exposure. Please God, don't go in here. Don't come in. Thank God they walked on down. I cleaned up, put the bibs back on, and I ran to my boat.
You didn't take the trash can out of the enclosure?
Hell no. It
Oh
was
my
so bad,
God.
the bag that was in there, it was, I'm sorry if you're listening.
And your kid's birthday party was ruined. Somebody's kid's birthday party was ruined. They brought him to the lake. They reserved a pavilion. It was going to be a nice little Paw Patrol. Instead, it was a goddamn Poop Patrol party.
Mommy, this trash can smells like dookie.
What's that brown trail of drippage over to the
Oh, that's just Mr. Bass Geek.
Look, I wasn't making it back.
Oh, no. You got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
Because, we're talking about 150 yards probably from the boat ramp, maybe even 200 to the bathroom.
I wish it was.
And I'm already sweating. It's that bad. I'm beating forehead sweat.
And you ain't walking. You trying to you got butt cheeks clenched doing the waddle.
Mr. Bass Geek looks like he just came off the boat from Vietnam. He has been fucking scarred for life. He has got one thing in mind. It's just that 1,000-yard stare, and he's just staring at the padlock. The waddle. He looked like the most hardcore penguin waddling his ass up there.
Sir, are you okay? I've got to shit. Don't talk to me.
Yeah. If anybody would have recognized me at that time, I'd have been like, shut the fuck up, I got shit.
Can I get an autograph?
Either that or I'd have just went,
Why
why
didn't you take the camera with you?
He's like,
look, there was no thoughts of that. It was like, go, go, go.
I
Did
love.
you beat your boat or did you tie it up on the dock?
I tied it up on the
All right.
Oh, so it wasn't that bad that you just had to run that.
Oh no,
bitch up
no!
on the bank
Listen,
and
as I was idling through the no wake to get there, I was climbing up, getting the rope ready, and had it.
He's ready to go.
Like, we weren't waiting. It was like boom, boom, boom.
I was about to say,
It's like
you can
for
tell.
for that old man. He's getting on his boat.
Yeah,
and I'm
fuck
getting
that
on,
guy.
Hey, the bathroom's open. Yeah.
Listen, you can tell he's successful and we aren't because Paul's like, how come you didn't bring the camera? Bass Geek's like, oh shit, my whole career is going to end up in my pants if this gets on video.
I'm like, somebody's
Well,
going
hey,
to get me for
I know you said you listened.
biohazard and
it smelled like propane and methane gas combined. Those are the worst.
The news article says like social media influencer desecrates family campground.
Or actually worse than that, he gets home that night and he's like, camp inside, camp closed down for gas leak.
yeah.
Come to find out, somebody had taken a number 2 in the trash can in the enclosed area, and was not a gas leak. Everybody's safe. Everybody's fine. It was great. Yeah, that's good. That's one of the things. If you listen to the podcast, I've said it quite a few times, is that if you want to go viral, and this kind of started with I can't remember who it was, but it started this. If you want to go viral, there's four main ways to go viral: hook yourself, hook somebody else, shit your pants, or fall in the water.
Yeah, there
If
you
you
go.
do one of those four things on camera, the chance of your video going viral is exponentially higher than the
Yeah.
greatest fishing video you've ever done.
Yes.
And so, and that's the thing about bass anglers though, in a kayak and a boat on the bank, you kind of get out there and you get dialed in. And you eat some breakfast that morning, you drink your coffee, your Red Bull, whatever, you put a chew in if you chew tobacco, or you put a Zen or some kind of like little pouch in. And when that nicotine hits, you smoke a cigarette, and when that nicotine hits and it mixes with the coffee in your small intestines, like there's something that just makes it makes you have to go. And
that
like
morning air, it's just that morning air, man, just makes it worse. Just makes it worse.
So that's the thing is that's why we talk a lot of poop stories on Bass and Brews, is because almost every angler has a really good poop story.
Oh yeah,
they either shit themselves, almost shit themselves, or they had to shit in the enclosed area at a campground, in a plastic trash can,
and ruin Tommy's birthday. Hey, we've talked a lot.
Wipe their ass on a picnic table.
It's the worst.
Propped up like you're posing for a fireman magazine or calendar.
It'd have been fishermen's only. All right. Hey, we've gone a little lowbrow, and I want to just add some dignity to this show instead. So let's play a game called Marry, Fuck, Kill. All right, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to give you three options. You need to
wait. Oh, damn.
Stop.
I don't know if you can put this on there, but I got a new one.
It's too late. It's too late for pictures. All right, it's marry, fuck, kill. Do you know the rules to this? If you don't worry, I'll explain it. I'm going to give you three options. You need to marry one, fornicate with one, and eradicate one. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right, so your options are Bigfoot, the Loch Ness, or aliens. And if you need a little visual stimulation like most men do, I can give it to you. So your options again are Bigfoot,
Oh God.
aliens, or the Loch Ness. So those are going to be your options.
Okay. So it's pretty easy which one I'm going to marry because I'm a geek. So aliens, I do believe in them, and I'm going to marry.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something about your wife, and I'm like, please don't. Please do not. These are not the visuals you need to.
No.
Thank goodness.
So you're marrying aliens. I dig it.
As long as it's a female Bigfoot, we're fucking that.
Looks like a female to me.
Looks like a female to me.
But a few beers, we're good.
All right.
There's bows on that one.
Yeah, we're definitely going to kill and fillet out
Loch Ness.
Loch
Ness.
Ness.
Fillet it out. He said, fuck it. We're going to eat that motherfucker.
Yeah. We're eating that bitch, and we're hanging the head on the wall.
I mean
that's a fish fry.
Bigfoot's getting eaten too, but just maybe in a different way.
I'm going to eat out Bigfoot, but I'm going to put that Loch Ness in my belly.
I mean, you gotta marry the alien because we gotta see what kind of fishing there is on the planet.
I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible. This is not a dig. This is just something that came to my mind. Talking about getting my belly. You do look a little bit like Fat Bastard from Austin Powers.
Oh,
Paul, really?
Oh, I want your baby in my belly.
Give me that baby back ribs.
Oh, Paul.
Baby back ribs.
You might be right, Paul.
Does he not look a little bit like Fat Bastard?
Hold on. Let me do this.
Yeah, hold on. We're going to pull it up because we got to see this.
In the nicest way possible.
Look, hey, Mr. Geek, if you did not have, and for everybody that doesn't know, his name's Hank, but fuck that. That's just a terrible name because Hank died in Breaking Bad and, fuck Walter White. But with that beard, without the beard, I would have never said that. But with the beard, you definitely look like Fat Bastard. I love it. It's great. And matter of fact, speaking of Fat Bastard, Where can I buy that shirt you're wearing?
That is a good looking shirt.
Well, right now I'm in between stores, so I'm working on the other. Hopefully, we get it up and running.
Yeah, that's you did not answer my question. How can I send you my address and you send me one of those shirts? Because I know you got more than one. Don't be bitching out
I actually, honestly, I have somebody else handle that. So even this one, I have to pay for.
Oh, it's like when Alex said, "Hey, we need to wear a Bass and Brew shirts." And I'm like, "Okay, can you send me one?" He's like, "No, just
Bitch,
go get
go
it
to
off
the
a
website.
Teespring." I'm like, I get the shirt. The bitch was $25. It was not the right. It said an XL, but that bitch was a medium.
Oh,
and
I don't want to hear about that, Paul. After what we
pay for that shit.
Remember those double XL shirts that fit you just fine this weekend?
Well, this is a 3X, and I mean it's loose.
So
yeah.
Did you get video of the T-shirts and the sizes though? Because my double XL
fit perfect.
Did not. It was a little tight, but your double XL. Alex pretty much wore a nightgown for his bright leaf.
Wow.
Not only did I get footage of it, I put my kid in it today and took footage, and that bitch goes down to her knees like she's a Revolutionary War kid. Like it is a full on night dress.
But you can't do that with a kid. It's a kid, but I mean, you can't. It was on you. It wasn't that big. It fit over your sweatshirt and fit perfectly.
It fit over my T-shirt that had a hoodie that had like 9 layers. It barely fit.
Did you find the photo yet?
Oh, it won't work right now because I don't have this shit set up properly.
So Alex, just real quick side note, Alex.
Hopefully the video is great.
Yeah. Alex got a new computer. He got a Mac. And he was asking me how to set it up because the first thing he goes is, how the fuck do you connect any of the podcast stuff to it? There's no ports.
There's no fucking pluggies.
I said, you got to get a dongle. But outside of that, if anybody's listened to the podcast, at least for the last couple years, Alex's video has been absolutely pure T shit.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, man, I'm even
I thought it was my internet connection.
He has an Ethernet cable plugged in. And I kept telling him, I said, it is not your internet connection. You are plugged in. It is your shitty ass fucking Mac or your shitty ass fucking Dell or whatever he had. And right now, this is the clearest he has been. And like his shit
2 years
in the Motel 6 was clearer than when he was at home.
Yeah.
So on his phone. So I'm proud of you. You upgraded. Your wife upgraded you.
She did.
And she also did not give it to you until after we had recorded like 2 podcasts.
Yep.
And before you came down. So anyway, but yeah, Alex's video looks great because he finally got a computer that's worth a fuck.
Cool.
Yeah. Good times. So what kind of computer do you run, Mr. Bass Geek?
This is an old Asus.
He's like, I got a piece of shit too.
I dropped a few years back. I've got a. I don't use the camera on there. I've got like I don't know what that is, a Brio or some shit.
All right, I got a question. So the editing, do you still handle all your own editing?
Yeah.
Well, I actually got a buddy of mine who's staying with me right now, and he does a lot of the editing now.
That's how you know you're fucking big time when you get your buddy to edit for you.
Yep. Hey, bitch, here's 22 hours of fishing content. I need a 30-minute video, and it better be good.
That's what Paul tries to do. He's like, hey, just record the campsite for fucking 9 hours and then find the funny stuff.
No. There's tricks to that.
That's why your videos suck, Alex, and that's why my 1 to 2 videos every 2 years I put out are good. Get
out of here. They're about you. Never mind. Anyways.
So he does. How do you? All right. This is a question I have for people.
What's your workflow on the water?
No, bitch. I'm asking the question. I started it. Don't get there. You can ask your question after me. So Alex obviously has a question about how you video, but this is my question. When you have somebody edit your stuff, right? So how do you get them to understand the story that you want to tell or the information, because you do a lot of information stuff? How do you get them to understand how to create the video in your mind? Because that's what it comes down to. Like, how do you work through that? To me, that's the hardest thing I would have with somebody that edited my shit.
So we do primarily 2 types of videos. We'll do some pattern stuff too. But like I said, the pattern stuff is so very specific to the lakes that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick question. Is he on the boat with you? Does he
Yes.
fish with you? So
Yes.
he's an angler and he's okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. Continue then.
So he's just he won't fish, like he's a camera guy. Like he likes fishing. He gets on the boat.
But
takes
he understands fishing and like,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's learning a lot. He's learned a lot since
he's just not your buddy from the trailer park that got kicked
No,
out. That didn't.
no,
Okay. All right.
no. But so we do primarily two different types of videos. We do the how-tos, and so those are videos that generally, depending on how many baits are in it or whatever, can take about, if you're out on the lake, about an hour and a half, 2 hours to film. And so we do things for better or for worse. And, I think to have a good workflow, it may get boring to some of the viewers sometimes because they understand what's coming in the video or what part is here and here and here. But when you're part-time still, I mean, if you're going to pump out three full plays a week, I mean, you have to have some sort of format.
Yeah.
That you do for, every single.
Hey, my wife tells me that all the time. If we're going to do a 3 or 4 day, we're going to pump out 3 or 4 times a week. You got to have a better format. I have not figured that format out yet, but I'm working on it.
The format's been some guy named Ruiz who comes in.
Wow.
But that's and that's kind of like what we're trying to do now with the fishing videos is and so when he come in, I sat down and showed him how, the software and how to do things, and I kind of explained to him, and then I'll download it and put it all in folders and say, okay, here you go. And he sort of knows we're trying to figure out ways to get better with the fishing content, which is the other video.
That's the hard.
That is the hardest.
And we talked about this with Dustin this past weekend. Is like a fishing video. You've got to have a storyboard. From the beginning to the end, you got to have a story that you want to tell, and in between telling that story, you got to have the B-roll that keeps people engaged and kind of creates that feeling that you're there with them. And creating the actual fishing content makes sense that you're saying that, because that's where you got to put that story together. But you're the one doing the fishing, right? And that's one of the biggest reasons I asked the question is you're doing the fishing, and then you're relying on your camera guy, your editor, to put that story together. And he's got to be thinking like you to be able to put it together, because you're the one doing it, and you're the reason people are watching the video. And so correlating or translating your vision for that video to them has got to be kind of hard to get that in the beginning.
It is, and it's even hard right now. Like, that's why we're still spitballing things, just trying our best to figure out, okay, how do we make this part? How do we make people understand this part? Or why do we move here? Because the great thing about fishing videos, if we can tweak that format out, which I don't think really anybody on YouTube has been able to do. Like, if you notice, like, fishing videos are dead by big creators. They're dead. They don't do them.
Greg Blanchard is about the only one.
That does them.
His fishing videos crush it, but
but very few do them anymore.
Well, hey, Alex, I know you have a question coming up about, does he prepare the story?
That's not what it is. I was going to go back to when we were talking earlier, right? When you mentioned the fishing videos, right? So, and when I asked, like, what do you think that viewer is, right? So we had a good talk with Mikey Balls. I think the episode was like 2 months ago, right? But we were throwing around ideas live on the episode, right? But a lot of it was like, so like Brandon Palaniuk, his videos crush, right?
Oh yeah.
But are people watching those videos specifically to watch him fish, or are they watching him because they like the person, they want to know, like, it has that story, right? So you've been around long enough, and you have enough of a name that maybe just you catching fish isn't what it's going to do, right? Maybe you can use this as, because you said that these fishing videos are going to get less views than your normal.
Yep.
Right. So
because
why
people
not
want to know how to fish it? This is, at least with my channel.
Yeah.
They want to know how to fish it.
Yep.
Not, they don't care if I'm catching fish.
Right.
I mean, I've done videos where I talk about a bait and I don't even have a fish catch.
Yeah.
They explode and do 40, 50, 60,000 views.
Because it's educational, right?
That's
but
right.
Just like when we were talking with Mikey about it, though, like you could use this separate, keep on your same grind, the same thing that your bread and butter is, right? But if your fishing videos aren't hitting the numbers you want, then doing something fucking crazy isn't going to hurt that much either, right?
Yeah.
So go off the wall, throw something, throw like a vlog style video of like, we don't need to see you catch the fish. We want to see you pooping your pants in a fucking bucket or, you know what I mean? That other stuff. This could be an opportunity to go more because you are like cemented in the fishing YouTube game. I bet you there's more people that want to know that stuff than you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
or
that's
fall off the boat while you're pooping. That would be classic gold.
Yeah.
Your
There's
big hairy ass.
And that's what we're doing. You know,
Cool.
my original fishing videos were very vlog style.
Yeah.
You know, they would be, you know, and the truth is
that was the thing 9 years ago. It was all about the vlog, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And so now we're trying to, you know, believe it or not, like Mikey Balls does a pretty good job at this about doing a video. What he'll do a lot of times is go out fishing. When he catches fish, what he catches fish on, which he fishes some really good lakes.
Yep.
I mean, really
Yes,
good
he
lakes.
does. Yeah.
You know.
He's a trash.
He's
He's a trash fisherman. He just happens to fish out of Florida.
Yeah.
Just
and Alabama.
That is what Bass
Florida
Mr.
and
Bass
Alabama.
Geek,
Yeah.
Mr. Bass Geek said Mikey Balls can't fish
Sucks.
worth a fuck.
Yep,
He's
that's
just
what he
at
said.
Good Lakes.
No,
that's what Bass Geek said.
No.
I'm texting him right now to say
But-
I'm texting him right now.
But, you know, come on, Mikey Balls, come up here to where I fish and catch those whopping 2.5ers.
Yeah, who wants to fucking do that? That's like somebody in Ohio complaining like,
You know.
people only catch fish in Florida because it's easy. Fuck you, dude. Go catch your 1.5 pound piece of shit Ohio River fish. Nobody gives a fuck.
And I mean, that's what I'm saying, you know, and you know, 15 pounds, 3-pound bass are big here. You know, so I was telling people, I fished in a club a few years ago and they had what's called a 6-pound pot. It took 3 years for somebody to win a 6-pound pot. I'm not kidding.
Look,
and there were good anglers in there.
Yeah.
Oh, you could, that pot would be won weekly in New Jersey.
Yeah. Listen,
That's crazy. Well, hey, I'm at Bugs Island this weekend. I was talking to my buddy. I've only fished there 2 or 3 times.
No, you weren't.
In the fall.
You weren't in Bugs Island.
Bitch, I said I have a tournament this weekend at Bugs Island. I fished
couldn't
there
hear
2 or 3 years before. You know what? I can't hear because I'm colorblind. I don't know what your excuse is. But anyway, so I'm talking to my buddy who's fisher a lot more than I am, my team tournament, or my partner. And I said, dude, we're going to get 25. He said, if you catch 25 pounds at Bugs Island, a.k.a.
yeah.
He said, you're gonna get, like, people are going to be blowing your shit up. I was like, it's doable. He said, it's not doable. And, you know, what he says, if we get 15 pounds, we're in the money.
Yes.
If we're 18, then we have a chance at winning. And I say, are we catching spots? Because it's a heron lake.
Yeah.
And it's a
I know
deeper
Bugs Island.
Clearwater lake. Yeah. Deeper Clearwater lake. He said, no, it's all largemouth. I'm like, how the fuck is, of course, you know, and all that. But they had somebody in early March had a 21 pound bag, and that was a big deal for that.
Oh,
lake.
yeah. So the BFLs and the Morristown Marine, that's the 2 big regional tournaments that I like to fish here. They fish what I call the core 4, and that is South Holston, which is my home lake, Douglas, Cherokee, and Norris Lake.
So it's all that western part of Virginia then. So y'all aren't Smith Mountain.
No. That's all northeastern Tennessee.
Yeah, right.
Actually.
Okay.
That's where the tournaments are held. So those lakes so far this year, it took 14 and change on Cherokee to win. $10,000, by the way.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I could kill at that
Damn.
tournament.
Yeah.
That's like
It
$1,000 a pound almost.
Yeah. It took
Bro, I would try to cheat at that one, and I'd turn in like 30 pounds, and they're like, "Motherfucker, it's obvious." I'm like, "Shit."
Douglas, which used to be a big bass fishery, is now. I think it took like last year's BFL took 12 pounds to win.
Oh my god!
This year, I think it may have been 16. Oh God, what's Norris? It's almost always that 15, that 16, 17 pounds.
Are they spotted? Are they spotted bass lakes now? Is
Largemouth, and smallmouth.
Okay.
I can't
So no
believe
spots.
I can't
Wow.
believe that those lakes that you fish, the fish are so small, but you still say all that mean shit about Mikey Balls. I can't believe it.
Look, man, when you're fishing the Tennessee River down there on Gunnersville, all you need is a flashy hook. They jump
Nope,
on
there
it.
it is.
Look, you give them that number 1 gold brim hook
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Walmart, and you
I
can
mean,
catch
come
8-pounders all
on.
day damn long. You
Come
don't even have to.
on.
You can be
Look.
blind and a paraplegic as long as you got that Walmart gold hook. You can catch them, baby.
I tell people all the time, they're like, a Cinco works anytime. I'm like, please come fish with me in the middle of summer. Please. I'm like, please. I'm like, yeah, it'll work anytime if you tie 3/4 ounce to that some bitch. Because I got a buddy, he lives on Santee Cooper, and he asked me one time, he said, shout out to my buddy Ben. He said, man, when you think about breaking down a lake, he said, do you think from shore to shore, or do you think from top to bottom? I said, I think from top to bottom. I said, because I had another buddy out of South Carolina ask me, man, do you ever throw a square bill? I said, yeah, it's called a DT10.
Well, see, that's the thing with Santee Cooper, though. When you're talking about Santee Cooper,
Now, Santee is flat.
You can't think top to bottom because the top and the bottom are the same. It's like
Are
a
the
flat-chested,
same,
no-ass, little, small cooter woman. Like, it's top to bottom. It's all flat the whole way around.
And that's
And
what
then,
he said. He was like, man,
yeah.
I think shoreline to shoreline. And I'm like, yeah. I went down and fished, fished Hartwell, but we started out on Clark's Hill with one of my friends down there. He picks up a Berkeley Fritz side 5, and he's not even able to cast all the way to the bank. And I'm going, dude, how deep are we?
What the fuck are we throwing it at? Yeah.
Because like when I brought him up here, he looked at me and I'm throwing, we're fishing shallow, and he's like, yeah, I see it now. Because like if you're fishing a 5-foot diver, you're rubbing the paint off side of the boat, man. You're in the rocks. You just broke shit,
Right.
So,
Hey, I would say during this podcast and after this podcast, we're friends. When are you gonna bring gas down here to the Raleigh area? And
dude,
fish
that
Falls
is
and Jordan and Harris. Because look, I'll tell you what.
dude.
Come down in the mid of summer to fall,
Yes.
and I can get you. We might not catch a bunch of big fish, but I can put you on some shit in Harris that will make you think that we're striper fishing, because the water will be bowling, and then Jordan is the next.
Jordan
lake
sucked.
fished
I didn't
most.
catch one fish.
He didn't even bring no fishing poles. But Jordan's unbelievably awesome. Good time. Now falls, I'm not as good on falls. I don't fish it. Falls, my favorite time to fish falls is right now. The grass is coming up, and in probably a couple more weeks. We're a little bit behind on water temps, a little bit lower than they typically are. Like it is, the falls is a frog biting the grass like hell. But when you come down this way, we're gonna have to. I will pay for the gas in your boat.
No, I want to
bring you
see.
biscuits,
I want to see
and we're gonna
Mr.
fish.
Bass Geek in your Hobie.
Oh my
Hey,
god!
look, man, no shit. Mr. Bass Geek would do great in the Hobie.
I think so.
I'd drive Mr. Bass Geek's bass boat.
Boat. Yep.
He
And
drives
him in the
my Hobie.
yeah.
We fish
Just have me in
together.
the back.
Hey, I will tell you this,
That would
Mr.
be-
Bass Geek, and we can try it when you come down here. If we do a swap of boats, and you're in the Hobie, I'm in your Cayman. I promise you, we can both get in my Hobie and stand up and probably do a little ditty together, and that Hobie be fine. Because I fixed the hole that was leaking, so that's the number one thing. And secondly, outside of that, it's not leaking anymore, so we're gonna have good. We could do that. We could fish together out of the Hobie.
How about?
Then we'll both try the Christine Fisher jump on the front to enter the kayak as we push off at the same time. We're going to do that together as well.
I think that you guys do that $1 million idea I have, where like one's in the boat, one's in the kayak. You guys get like 2 hours, you swap, and then the last two, and then you do 2 hours, and then the last 2 hours, you guys both have to
together in the kayak.
No, you have to be on the bank fishing together, and whoever's got the biggest stringer.
No, I quit. I'm not fishing from the bank. I'm not a peasant. I'm not poor. I don't live in the slums of India. I'm not doing that.
I didn't know there was a big bass fishing scene in India from the shore.
There's no places around here to fish from the shore. I mean, it's
Mr. Bass,
like there's no ponds.
No, we don't have a lot either.
Nothing like that. It's all just mountains.
Yeah.
So you got some streams. You can go do some wading that sometimes, some rivers, but you're catching them like
What about float tubes? How about instead of the bank, we get you guys in float tubes for that last
Mr.
part?
Bass Geek does not need a tube to float. I can already tell.
That's true. Trust me.
Look, I say that
this,
because I can float actually, I can't float. Funny thing about me is I was on the swim team, and when I was in Boy Scouts and when I was trying to get my swimming badge, I can't float. I do everything right, and I just start to sink, and they almost wouldn't give me my fucking badge because I couldn't float. I'm like, God dang. Y'all just taught me how to use my blue jeans as a life vest.
Fucking life
Why
vest.
do I need to float? But, hey, I got a quick question. What's the number 60 behind your left-hand shoulder?
Oh, so that's my son's senior year jersey.
Football.
Oh, yeah.
That is my jersey and his first jersey.
Oh, that's badass.
And because we both graduated from the same high school, and I actually coached football, offensive, defensive line there for 13 years too.
Wow.
Oh, no shit.
Wow.
Baller. I love football. It's my favorite sport.
Yeah.
Hey, what position did your son play?
He played defensive end.
Okay.
And then he played tackle on offensive and defensive side.
What about you? What position did you play?
I played fullback, inside linebacker, and then as I got a little bit bigger, I played some guard and tackle too.
So not punter at all.
No.
Okay. Is in your opinion, is that even like a real position on the football team?
Well, I mean, you got to have one. Trust me, we have lost a lot of games when I coached because our punter made a shit punt. So,
all right. So if somebody said
for punters, bitch.
All right. So if somebody said, "Hey, I was a collegiate athlete," and then you ask, "Oh my God, like what sport?" and they were like, "Oh yeah, football," and then you're like, "Oh no shit, right? I played guard. I played this. What did you play?" And they went, "Oh, I was the second string punter." Would you still think of them as a collegiate athlete?
Only if they played soccer first.
Bitch, fuck soccer. I was a quarterback and free safety linebacker and punter.
Well, that's Hey, you played under position.
That was the best response.
Hey, look, Alex was a guard and tackle when he played football. He guarded the water cooler, and anybody that came to get water when they weren't supposed to, he tackled.
You're right.
I didn't play at any. Listen, my alma mater, Rye Cove, who had an incredible year, had actually their best season last year.
Let's go.
Nice.
Should have made the state championship, but returning a lot of people. They are one of the smallest schools in Virginia. So
I mean,
how many players? How many players?
If we fielded, let's say after 2 days, spring or after camp, if we fielded 18 kids mid-season, I was happy.
Okay.
My high school, I grew
it's like
up,
little giants.
Yeah. So my high school I grew up in, and I played high school ball in the late 90s, early 2000. And my high school had 800 people had 500 people in it, 7 through 12. Varsity's 9 through 12.
Yeah.
the most people I ever had on a football team was 18.
Yeah.
And the reason we had 18 is because there were about 5 or 6 of them that were just there to practice, and for whatever reason they played football.
Yeah.
And that's where it was one of the smallest 1A high schools in the state.
Yeah. We would bring our 8th graders up to hold tackling dummies.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. You would bring the 8th graders up that liked football. They couldn't wear pads. This is at practice. They could all they could do is hold the dummy, and then the coach was like, "Do not hit the person with the dummy." And the person with the dummy gets to try to hit you. Do not hit the 8th grader. Yeah, hey man, that's where I grew up.
That's where he learned how to punt. Second string.
I did. Yep. And when you have 18 people, there's not a lot of people that can.
And you were still second string.
But see, here's the thing: what you said about soccer, I could not kick a football to save my life.
That's why he was the second string punter.
I could punt it, bitch. I was first string 2 games.
2 games.
And then I
mean, better than me. Look, I couldn't kick him.
He couldn't either. That's why he was the second string punter.
Look, Mr. Geek, my last college play in a real actual game was against Clemson in 2002. And I'm from South Carolina. Tons of people at Clemson. It was at home at UNC, ABC television. I kicked a fucking 8-yard punt on national television. And hey, and the funny thing is so my position coach, Coach Powell, has been on the podcast. He's a big angler. Him and I fished in college. We keep it. Matter of fact, I was just on the phone with him right before we started this. And I kicked the ball, and Coach Powell doesn't really cuss. Like, he talks a lot of shit to you, but he doesn't cuss. I shake this shit out of this motherfucker, and it was on the right hash, so on the Clemson side. I'm running across the field. I'm pissed. He looks at me and goes, "Roberts, what the fuck was that?" I was like, "I don't know." Like, I mean, what the fuck am I gonna say? I don't know. And that was it. And my last collegiate play was an 8-yard on ABC.
Way to end it on a high note. High note.
I was known as 8-yard Paul by most of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, for a good while after that.
Oh, damn.
All right, boys. We are it's been a good time, but we are about ready to get into
wait.
It's every time.
We're not even an hour and a half. We went 2 hours last time. We went 2 hours last time. We need to make this at least 2.5.
You all do what you want to do.
I ain't doing that. Anyway, so before we get to the most important part of the show, because this is either going to sink you, we're either going to damage your career, or you're going to be raised to the levels of I was going to say Mikey Balls, but we've discussed he's shitty at what he does.
I'll take Mikey Balls.
Hold on a sec, Mr. Bass Geek. Alex and I have some shit to work out right here, and you're just going to have to be part of it. Mommy and Daddy are about to
just mute him. It's fine.
Oh, that's me.
Don't mute me. Mommy and Daddy are about to fight, Mr. Bass Geek, and you have to sit over there and just be like, "What the fuck's wrong with them?" Alex, you have literally one of the best lead-ins.
I'm not there yet. I know.
But you are there. You just lit in with the stupidest shit you could ever say. It's like the time you want to change the shotgun around to some stupid bullshit.
All right. So before we get there, I'm going to give you an opportunity to shout out whoever you'd like to shout out there, Mr. Geek. And yeah.
What? Wait. No. Hold the fuck on. You still didn't do it.
I'm not there yet.
I'm going to do it right now. Mr. Geek, shout out whoever you want to shout out, your sponsors, the people that help you fish, because it's going to either raise you to the highest of highs to be a serious angler, or the lowest of lows to the dark waters.
It's after the song. But anyways, go ahead.
No, it's not after the song. We as the intro to this segment. I'm sorry, Mr. Bass Geek. I'm sorry. Alex is fucking this podcast all the way up. It's been great until he decided to. Thank you. He took himself out, y'all. He took himself out. He's mad at me. I got mad at him.
Well, to be honest with you, I really don't. The people that I work with know who they are. I don't.
He doesn't even want to say them. Hold on, Alex. He doesn't even want to say them.
He's like, fuck that. I talked about shitting in a trash can.
No, I don't
am not
care
saying
to.
my sponsors on this podcast. I love it.
You know, I do what they are under contract for, what they pay me to do, and
All right.
that's all I need to do. Is the way I look at it.
That's fair.
I do have one thing. When your merch is out, that shirt specifically comes out.
Yeah,
I want to know because I am buying one.
yeah.
And I'll pay full price for that bitch, and I'm gonna wear it because I love that shirt.
I'll pay full price for that. Solid.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
got
let's
a,
get into shit.
I got a hack. I don't know if anybody will wear this. I kind of put it out on my YouTube channel the other day, but yeah, I was just sitting there and it hit me. I was like, the Kool-Aid man. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna change him. I'm gonna change him to blue. I'm gonna put a rod in his hand and a bass in the other, and he's gonna be running. And it's just going to say, "Oh yeah!" And
I love it.
Bass Geek underneath it.
That's perfect,
And
dude.
I've got it, man. I've got it.
But after that story of you running to the shitter, like this is perfect.
But hey, we need it to be your body, your body as Kool-Aid.
Body. All right,
I'm
here
a
we
little
go.
teapot, short. And
It's time.
Boys and girls, let's see how far down the rabbit hole we can go today. Woo! It only takes one.
All right, here's how it's
I
supposed to be
am
done.
a little sad that we did not get to how you got your YouTube channel back because it sounded like a journey, but we don't have time for that. Alex is ready to go. He wants to do shotgun round.
All right,
I will give it to you short and sweet.
go for
Short
it.
and sweet.
Literally, Google and YouTube did a fantastic job. I reached out to them. Google had my Google account back within 24 hours. Within about 32 hours, I had at least some semblance of the channel back up.
Perfect.
Two-factor authentication is important.
It is.
Well, so the problem was, again, short and sweet, no matter how good you have that, if you open the door and let the vampire in your house, he will suck you.
Hey,
that's
exactly
good
what
life
happens.
advice.
Yep, that's exactly what happens when you bend over it in front of the wrong person.
All right, we're about
Open
ready to
the
hit the
door.
shotgun.
Not those loser twinkly vampires. No, it was garbage.
We're going to hit the patent pending Bass and Bruce shotgun round. We're going to ask you a rapid fire set of questions. We just need you to answer them. We don't want a full explanation unless we ask for it. The Brewskis out there are a very loving bunch, right? But this will be the most polarizing segment that will either raise you to the highest levels to become a serious angler or the lowest lows to the dark water.
Shit,
That's how it's fucking done,
You're
Paul.
right. You're right, Alex. I
Thank
really
you.
fucked that up. But I like what I did because I did it, and I did it exponentially better than you would have ever done it. If you were to do it the wrong time, it would not have been that good.
All right, Mr. Drippy Poo. Sorry, Mr. Bass Geek. You're going to spend more on a rod or a reel?
A rod.
Okay.
I get that from you. You look
I
like
get
a
it, too.
rod guy.
Yeah, he does. Is it Crocs or flops?
Well, I don't have a big toe.
Yeah,
so
we didn't
flops.
ask for a whole
Crocs
fucking
or flops
explanation.
Crocs or flops
It's
first.
flops. It's flops if I had a big toe.
Perfect.
Every single fucking.
If I had a big
boat-
toe, you don't have a big toe?
No.
What?
The diabetes got you?
See that?
Oh, he's missing a toe.
Holy shit, he's missing a toe. Was it the diabetes, or did you cut it off chopping wood?
I used to work on the railroad, and I accidentally got my foot caught between two cars when they coupled up.
Holy shit! What was worse, the toe being dismembered, or the
shitting in that
afterwards?
trash can?
Yeah.
The recovery afterwards.
Yeah.
Way
Why
worse.
couldn't they reattach it? Was it like crushed?
Yeah.
Oh, see.
What did you do with the toe? Do you like have it in a jar of alcohol?
Well, I don't know, man. So luckily it come apart, and I started walking over to the office because I worked in a yard.
He's like, I get a day off. Fuck
I was like, well, no, like I knew it was bad. Like the steel toe I could see, like the toe was gone.
I knew
And
it was
so I was
bad.
like-
My steel toe boot was missing the steel and the
I was
toe.
like, yeah. I was like, hey, call 911. Well, I was going over to take my boot off, see how bad it was. And, my engineer and my brakeman come running. I was crew foreman at the time, which is
Oh
the
shit,
conductor.
you were in charge too?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fucking white hats. Here's what happens
Oh,
when you
yeah,
let white
yeah.
hats on the site.
Yeah. When
So
the
they-
foreman comes out, he starts losing digits.
Yeah. So they come running and tackle me, and they're like, "You going to shock? Lay down!" And I'm like, "Guys, I'm not going into shock. Like, I'm good. I just want to see how bad I'm bleeding." Like,
What did your wife say when you came home and said, "Hey, babe, my
No, I
toes
didn't come
gone"?
home. They took me to the so they picked me up in an ambulance.
Yeah.
They took me to trauma. Now, by this time, they've done shot me straight full of morphine. Like,
Yes.
I mean, like they
Fuck
pumped
yeah.
it in. They pumped it in the IV, and I felt my heart go boom, boom.
Yeah.
You're like, please
And I
don't
was
tell
like-
anything I say right now. Don't repeat to my
Yeah.
wife.
I was like, yes. So they get me. They call her, and they're like, "Oh, is he? You know, he's had an accident. Don't freak out. Oh, is he like? Where's he at? Is he in the emergency room?" They're like, "No, he's in the trauma." So she freaks out.
Yeah.
But she gets there, and at one point, I'm
Dumbass.
sitting there, and they just keep coming by, just pumping more pain meds in, more pain meds, and I'm like, "Yeah."
I was
it's
say
a
Bass
ride."
Geek's like Pink Pony
Yeah.
Club. I'm gonna keep on partying.
So they got a bunch of my stuff in this Ziploc bag, and she gets
Minus
it.
your toe.
I hope
Yeah.
the toes in the bag.
She gets it, and the nurse is like, "Hey, here's his stuff," and I was like, "Hey, don't lose that. My toes in there." Looks at it. She looks at it, and that nurse goes, "I said, no, I'm just joking." That nurse goes, "I'd fucking kill him."
Listen, I heard
This has got to be the greatest answer to Crocs or Flops.
No,
I'm sorry.
it is, but it's also the saddest one. What you guys don't know is Mr. Bass Geek's wife, super into toes. Not anymore. He's missing one. And the second one is, and I want all of you manufacturers out there, this man is walking around just wanting to be in flops, but he can't. It flips, but it never fucking flops. You guys need to redesign that thing to where he could do a pointer toe and a middle toe flop.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Exactly.
He needs a smaller toe. What the fuck is it? What the fuck? The panties that go up the ass.
Yeah, the
Not the
pantyhose.
G-string. But what's
Panties
the
that go
other
up the
one?
ass. Thong?
Yeah, thong.
Yeah, he
He
needs
needs
Make
different
me a
things.
thin slide. Like all the slides are like that big. So
Yeah,
like,
dude. He
My
needs a
toes
thin
are
one.
tan, my foot's tan, but I've got a white stripe right in the
Listen,
middle.
Hobie,
Well, hey-
Hobie, I know you make sunglasses, and
Oh,
I know
they
you're
make
out of the
great
kayak
sunglasses.
game. But now you're out of the kayak game. How about you use some of that money to R&D to make a 4-footed flop?
Yeah.
Yep.
See?
And you know, he's probably, looking at him, he's probably got a big ass fucking big toe, so you still need to be a little wide.
I
Yeah,
just
definitely.
imagine because his toe's so big on one side, Bass Geek just kind of when he walks, he does circles a little bit. He's like a little cockapoo. He's just running around in circles.
No rock climbing. I can't rock climb.
If you guys don't,
Is that why it took you so long to get to the potty before you almost shit your pants? Is because you didn't? You got one foot that
You don't-
presses off
you don't
really
have
good.
the,
The other
you
one
know-
is slow.
Yeah.
He has
You
no-
don't have the weight bearing on the toes.
That's why it looks like you. That's why you waddle when you walk.
it's
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Listen, what you guys don't know is YouTube was a side gig. He tried to get into the foot game on footfetish.com.
Listen, you
He got-
can't tell me
he got
that
foot shamed.
there's not a place for it.
Dude, they're ready for you. You listen, everybody. I want you guys to go to his most recent YouTube video and just leave comments. I'm looking for the foot OF. And then put the little beer emoji so he knows it's from Bass and
Listen,
Bruce
I
fans.
fish in slides and barefoot all the time, so I get a ton of questions. We need the story. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I'll tell you later.
well, I'll tell you what. You could fish in slides even on a flip flop on that foot because it's still sliding. All right, back on track. That
God
was
damn.
the greatest. Nobody's going to
Yeah.
beat that. One's going down in the
Ever.
lore.
There's no way. Nobody's ever gonna.
Wow.
beat that one.
Well, let's see if you can add yourself to the lore. You're on your way to the water. Is it hype music or is it slow jams?
I like nothing. If it's got to be
Oh
one
my God!
hype.
Answer the question.
Hop.
And what is hype music to you?
I like White Zombie.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Look,
I
you're
thought you were going to
close.
say Brooks and Dunn. I was like, this motherfucker is.
No,
He's
I'm a rock and roller. I'm a man.
All
he
right,
is
all right.
he's Western Virginia, so he's close enough to Tyler that he could have said some stupid shit.
He
but
could have.
saved himself.
But I will say, I could tell by your age when you said, like, I could tell your age because you said White Zombie. Most people are going to say, like, Rob Zombie. You went full on before Rob went solo. You did. You know how many times I destroyed Kleenexes to that album cover where she's like sitting with like the, you know what I'm talking about? Like the knitted bikini? Man.
Yeah.
Good times right there, Mr. Small Cooter Paul.
See, you should have had some Costco 2-ply, and you would have saved money.
All right. We covered it, but let me think here. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No.
Oh.
I knew it.
No.
Yes. Alex
Listen.
is a bitch. He orders pineapple on his pizza.
I might be a bitch, but guess what I got? 10 motherfucking toes. That pineapple keeps that big toe strong.
Hey, do you have a
No.
nub or do you have a little bit of a bone that sticks out?
It's
Did they
kind
fold the
of
skin
like
in?
at the top. It looks like a nub, but it's kind of like this.
Hey, can you
At
show
bottom,
us?
it's not.
Can
No.
you take your sock off and
No.
show us real quick?
No. No.
Look,
Paul's
Alex,
like, fuck this
Alex,
podcast.
if we
Let's
wanna
start
make-
this over.
No, if we want to make money on this podcast, he
Yeah.
could show us his nubby toe.
Yeah.
And like we could maybe go viral and maybe make some money.
No, because he's a big YouTuber. He just copy strike. He toe strike our
We don't
videos
put
so
it
he
on
can take all the
YouTube. It's
money.
TikTok and all that stuff.
You know where people could actually see it? If you head over to patreon.com/Bassambrews right now, there will be a 4-toed picture of Bass Geek's foot.
Yeah.
So make sure to head over there and help support the show. We haven't asked this one in a while, Paul. 5 hours of fishing.
Oh yes, we have it. Good.
Would you rather catch 5 2-pounders or 1 8-pounder?
1
7
8
pounder.
How about 1
or
7?
7. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I knew the answer to that because all
Yeah.
he gets to catch are
Is-
2
Yeah.
pounders.
Yeah.
Listen, he's at a disability. Would you
I've caught
stop?
enough. I've caught enough from 2 under to say, to do me a lifetime.
Hey,
We-
do you
we-
get a
we've
special
gone-
spot at the boat ramp with the handicap placard?
I've thought about applying. I haven't done it yet, but
Yeah,
You
dude.
should. You get those first 3 spots at the boat ramp, and you're that's
mean-
perfect. That's perfect.
look, I'm fat and I have a toe missing. I mean,
You're
how much more
handicapped.
handicapped can you be in my
Yeah.
part, in my region?
Listen,
know?
next time you have to blow up a bathroom, blow up that handicap stall. When somebody says something, you show them that fucking foot. You tell them you started with 10 toes in that shitter and you only came out with 9.
Hey, how do you run your trolling motor missing your big toe? Because I feel like that's the toe that everybody uses to change speed and hit spot lock and stuff like that. Did it take some learning to do?
It's,
to be
yeah,
able to-
you gotta do a little adaptation, but yeah, it's not hard.
Have you ever talked about you not having a big toe on your YouTube page?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I
Oh.
fish barefoot a whole lot now.
Yeah.
so.
Hey, have you ever thought about getting a service animal, like a small ferret, to run that portion of the trolling motor for you?
I
Like
would
just-
love that.
Yeah, like a service chihuahua or
no, a
ferret.
kitty cat. I bet a
Oh.
kitty cat would be
Yeah.
the greatest.
Yeah, but only a kitten. As soon as it gets older, you chuck that bitch in the lake and you get
I like
another
a
one.
very
Fuck
small
you,
monkey.
Alex.
That'd be
A
great.
monkey? No,
Very
that's
small
even
monkey.
better. Like that little monkey from Friends.
Yeah.
That's your adaptive foot
Hey,
monkey.
well, if
I'll
you
throw in
and
the
Alex,
peanut if
Yeah,
if he's got me in the right position.
if you and Alex ever meet, he
I
could
got you.
100% be
I
that
got
fucking
you.
monkey.
I got
he
it.
could be
I
that
got it.
monkey.
I
You
got
put a
you,
leash on him, and they wouldn't know if it was, a monkey from the zoo or a grown ass human being.
They would know because I have 10 toes still. Anyways,
Well, so do monkeys, but you're still the same size.
hey, Mr. Bass Geek, do you eat beaver?
Not the kind that swims in the water.
What are you talking about?
The fuck kind of beaver is that?
The other kind.
Man, I thought his.
the fuck? Hold on.
Huh.
What beaver? I have grown up in the country. I've never seen.
And
a
you've
beaver
never heard
looks-
that?
I've never seen a. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking
All
about.
beaver live in water.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
What the fuck kind of beaver you
I don't
talking
like
about?
beaver.
Can you
No.
elaborate?
I mean,
Oh, we don't
Can you
like
elaborate?
beaver. All right.
Can you elaborate on what kind of beaver it is? Because
He was a family-friendly show till now.
yeah.
Now he got 9 toes and a love for beaver. I gotcha.
yeah, so he says it was a train accident to sound big and bad.
No.
It happened to be a beaver accident.
It was a land beaver. That thing
yeah,
snapped.
a
You know.
beaver took his toe off.
What kind of train?
Oh, now we're talking about beaver trains?
Beaver train. Hey, Wolf of Walmart, if you're listening
We
this
need a
late,
beaver train.
we need a beaver train meme with only 4 toes.
God. Is the caboose the one that took the toe off?
That shit was watertight. He took his whole toe with him. There is
Was
so
it the engineer? Was it the engineer in front or the caboose in the back that took your toe off in the beaver train?
It was actually 2 high-profile box cars.
Oh, I know it was a box beaver car.
Oh yeah, the box beaver. That's what. Yes, the box beaver is the best beaver.
No, only the high profile box. You don't want that. You don't want that
Quality.
Jerry Lou hanging out back.
He is going to any of the social media posts we tag him on. He is going to untag. He's like, my wife cannot see this.
Copyright
Sponsors
strikes.
cannot see this.
He won't even
hell
mention them.
No.
No, I think he had it planned. That's why he didn't want to mention sponsors. He was like, I'm talking about Beaver Box tonight.
Yeah. The best beaver is box beaver.
All right. Every
Nope,
grade.
nope, nope.
What did I miss?
Do you eat largemouth bass?
No, I don't.
All right.
I don't.
See,
I mean,
that's
I
why
have.
y'all's
Yeah.
that's
I
why
have.
y'all's bass are small, because y'all don't eat enough bass.
I agree.
That's why your
There
toe
you go.
wasn't strong enough. You don't
Yep.
eat bass.
Yep. But like I
Um,
said, now, spot, yeah.
Spot, get them. Spot and Asian carp. You'll
And box beaver.
and box beaver. Eat them daily. It'll keep the doctor away.
Yep.
You heard it here first from Bass Geek, the guy who hates Mikey Balls. All right, every great angler loves a good sandwich. What are your top 3 sandwich proteins?
Don't let me down.
It's got to be bologna, man. Come on.
Okay, fuck yeah.
All right,
Bright leaf
bologna's
bologna.
number one. Bright leaf. Alex had bright leaf bologna.
It's good as fuck.
Yeah. Top 3. I mean, I'm pretty simple, man. It's got to be turkey and ham.
Perfect.
Okay, good.
I love a good turkey sandwich.
No beans, no cheese, and no spinach.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I don't know now. Cheese, man. I'm a cheese guy. I like
Well,
cheese.
you gotta,
ain't gonna
yeah,
eat
but
no
that's not a
cheese
cheese sandwich.
Oh, no.
Right.
No, they got to be some protein in there. So.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, everybody. It's been a great episode. You can find Bass Geek somewhere. He won't tell you where because he's ashamed of us. And if you want to look at his weird foot, go to patreon.com/Bass and Brews. We'll see you on the next one. Have the fucking week you deserve.
Hey,